I've been wanting to start a Turo business for a while now, and after seeing some crazy numbers, I decided to finally take the risk and start the business. So in this video, you're gonna see me buy my first rental car, get it ready to list on Turo, to come across some problems and some big wins, to see if a big investment like this is really worth it to make passive income.
Yo, it's good.
So for Turo, do you think it's better to take a low risk with a $5,000 to $6,000 car, or go all in with like $25,000?
I would go with the $25,000 car just for the simple fact that it's going to last longer. It's going to give you less issues.
Will has a 3-car Turo fleet and had a pretty bad experience with a cheaper car, so I think I'd rather listen and not have to deal with any big problems in the future. So with that being said, I looked for some SUVs in the $20,000 to $30,000 range, and shortly after I found exactly what I was looking for and bought it sight unseen. So it's the 7th, and tomorrow I take delivery of the car. I spent $24,000 and I haven't even seen it in person, so let's hope all goes well. And just like that, I picked up my new car. This is my 2018 Mazda CX-5, and I need to inspect it for any damage and take it for a thorough test drive because I only have 24 hours to report any damage before it's liable on me. So I looked through every inch of the car and took it for a 10-minute test drive because I need to make sure the car doesn't overheat, it drives smooth, and no warning lights pop up. And overall, the car drives really good. I'm actually really surprised. But before I can list it on Turo, there's still a few things that I need to do. One thing about this car is there's an open recall that needs to get fixed before Turo will let me rent it. Thankfully, it should be a free repair, but I need to book an appointment with the dealership. So I called the Mazda dealership.
Thank you for calling service. Let me help you.
And then got my appointment scheduled for 10 a.m. on Tuesday, which is 5 days from now. So until then, I'm going to do everything else to get the car ready to go on Turo, which includes getting a lockbox so I can do contactless delivery without the car getting stolen. So I went to AutoZone to buy one, and $27 later, I realized I made a mistake. Being that my car is push to start, it still starts with the key on the door, which once again enables my car to get stolen. So I looked for an alternative to stop anyone from taking my car, and I found this RFID blocking lockbox that should prevent the key from working until it's open. And another $50 later, my car was successfully undrivable, which now brings us to step 2, tracking the car. A few other Turo hosts recommend Bouncy, where you can pay a monthly fee to track location and how the car is being driven. And I need to know where my car is in case something bad happens, so I paid $77 plus $8 a month to get this GPS, which should be here in about a week. The next step is getting professional pictures of the car, so I drove into downtown Austin to take pictures with a cool view to make my listing stand out, which was the last step before having to take it in for the recall. I got the car back the same night and made my listing on Turo. I'm renting the car for $49 a day, which can definitely be increased in the future, but because I have no trips and no reviews, I'm starting the price low so I can hopefully get a few trips pretty fast. $49 might be too cheap because literally 3 hours after making the listing, I got a 10-day trip booked that's gonna make me about $330. So I filled up the car with gas and took all the pre-trip photos, and then it went on its first trip. Okay, let's go over some of the numbers. The car price out the door was $23,432, and I did get a loan, making my payments $449 a month. And in my state, you're required to have personal insurance just for when I'm driving the car, which is another $83 a month. I don't have a commercial insurance plan yet, so I'm giving 25% of all earnings to Turo so I can have full coverage up to $750,000 on the 75 plan. I am going to get fleet insurance in the future, either from Lula or GMI, just so I can have better coverage without having a huge percentage taken out of my revenue, but we'll figure that out later. But my last monthly expense is the Bouncy GPS, which is $8 every month so I can track the car and look at how the person is driving it, making my total monthly payment about $584 every month after tax. So everything I've spent on the car so far is $27 for the first lockbox, $46 for the second one, and I spent $83 to buy and activate the Bouncy GPS. So besides actually paying for the car, I'm only about $160 into it, which is already going to be doubled next week, being I got that $500 trip booked, earning me $321 after fees. And I've been thinking, and I think my next car for the fleet is going to be a Ford Mustang. So I found a Turo profit calculator. My car is rented for $55 a day. I am on the 75 plan, and let's assume the car is rented 25 days out of the month because there's probably going to be maintenance and stuff I need to do, which would account for that 5 days. And my car payment is $449 a month with my $83 a month for insurance. So it's assuming I'm going to make about $499 in profit with a little over $1,000 in earnings every month. But this also doesn't include airport delivery fees and other reimbursements like fuel charges, cleaning fees, and other things the guests might do to the car. So I'm expecting a little over $500 a month in profit, although it could be a little lower and it could be a little higher. But if I go in the Turo calculator and go to the region nearest to me, which is probably Houston, it's about an hour away, and put put in my Mazda CX-5. It estimates the car is going to earn a little over $10,000 a year, which is not bad, but I did have a realization that if I bought sports cars, I'd be able to make more money. If I look at a Ford Mustang, as you can see, it'll make me about $12,000 a year, which is $2,000 more than my Mazda CX-5, but the price on a 2017-18 Mustang is actually going to be cheaper than what I paid for on my car. And it's the same story with a Camaro, but if I go to a Corvette, as you can see, it says I should be able to make $32,000 a year on a Chevy Corvette. So I definitely think my future in Turo is going to be with sports and performance cars, because if I can own Mustangs, Corvettes, and Camaros and actually make profit on them, I think that would be a sick business. Now, do I think Turo is a business worth getting into? Both yes and no. While in theory you could use Turo to get a bunch of loans and build a big fleet pretty quick, once you get to that point, it can all come downhill pretty quick. All it takes is one issue with your Turo account getting disabled, and you're stuck paying $500 a month on 5 different cars that already depreciated leaving the dealership. However, if you have some expendable income, Turo can be a really good side hustle. If you can get a good loan on a car and worst comes to worst, you're still able to pay it without Turo, I'd really recommend getting into it, being you're making positive cash flow every month without having to put a big chunk of money down on a car. But if small inconveniences like a slow month or an accident causing your car to be gone for a few weeks would affect you financially, I don't think Turo is the smartest decision to jump into. But with that being said, after testing the business and managing Will's CRV for the last 2 months, I'd consider myself the latter, being I feel pretty comfortable in scaling my fleet pretty quick, and I've already been looking at some new possible cars for the channel, because my goal for Turo is to be able to make an extra $4,000 to $5,000 every month so I can make better videos for this channel, while also be able to document my progress and journey with this business on here. And honestly, I'm pretty hyped for it, so make sure you guys subscribe if you're interested in my businesses and how much money I'm gonna make with Turo, because I have another car coming very soon.